Joined now by James Pethokoukis. He's economic policy analyst at the American Enterprise Institute and a CNBC contributor. Jimmy, you had a great note the other day that really boiled it down because a lot of people have been looking past this event, interestingly. I mean, yes, it's getting a lot of play, but at the same time, maybe not as much as you would think, given that, we have the Senate hanging in the balance. Tell us what you think some of the kind of big differences might be based on who retains control.
I'll tell you, if Republicans win one of these seats and they maintain control of the Senate, then I think the biggest macro thing accomplished by Congress for 2021 already just happened. That would be the $900 billion stimulus. I don't think anything will happen over the next 2 years that will be anywhere close to as important as that stimulus. I'm extremely skeptical of any kind of grand bargain between Biden and Mitch McConnell, even on things like infrastructure. Maybe something, but I just don't think it's going to be that big. On the other hand, Democrats take those seats, and now all of a sudden you have kind of the mini blue wave situation reemerges. Then listen, you're talking probably another stimulus package. Maybe that's $500-600 billion. Still a lot of money. You're talking some tax hikes, not through the roof, but not insignificant tax hikes. And probably a pretty big infrastructure plan. Those are two, I think, starkly different outcomes.
Yeah, and so as you put it, it's the difference between tax hikes and no tax hikes, public option or no public option, Section 230 reform or no reform, big infrastructure, maybe no infrastructure, stimulus or no more stimulus. Do markets care more about, tax hikes or stimulus? That's also the question kind of hanging in the balance here. It's one of these events that, I guess, between the closeness of the outcome and just how big those policy moves could be over time, it's going to take markets some time to digest this. Are we even going to know tonight who the winner is?
Well, certainly if it's a repeat of what we saw in November, we have many hours, days of if it's going to be that close, and it very well might be that close. So right, it may take some time to digest it, but I think, listen, no matter which way it goes, even if Democrats take these two seats, it's still a very narrow Senate and a very narrow House. So who will be sort of that median Democratic senator? Well, listen, it's going to be somebody like Kristen Sinema in Arizona, Mark Kelly, Joe Manchin. That is going to prevent some of these kind of wilder ideas, totally getting rid of all the Trump tax cuts, taking the corporate tax rate up to 35%, the total Green New Deal. That kind of wilder stuff, I think, is off the table either way. Still, what could change is significant.
Yeah. And finally, who do you think, again, just watching the polls for whatever they're worth, the predicted odds, Twitter, what is your spidey
Nothing's
sense
more
telling
important
you
than what Twitter is
about?
saying. I think we can acknowledge that.
Yeah. Well, so what feeling are you getting here, as we've seen some of the really long lines, the heavy turnout, and maybe some questions about how strong the turnout will be on the GOP side?
Right. From everything I hear, Democrats are not confident they're going to win this. I realize the 538 polls show Democrats doing better. I think that, especially after what just happened, everyone's going to be super cautious about predicting a Democratic win here. And listen, I thought the betting markets did pretty good, 2 months ago. They show the Republicans winning, and I think that's not, to me, that's not an insignificant data point.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.